For reading today, we're going to talk about the two types of stories that we talked about yesterday, fiction and nonfiction. And when I'm done with this video, you should be able to tell if a story is fiction or nonfiction just by looking at the cover and paging throughout it. Let's start by going over what fiction books are. On my chart, I said a fiction book is something that's made up or make-believe. It's not a real story. It didn't happen in real life. It also is written to entertain its readers. And you read it in an order because it needs to make sense and it needs to be read in that order. When you read it, it is telling a story with a beginning, a middle, and an ending. And also our fiction stories will have illustrations or pictures that help clarify what is happening in the story. We talked about nonfiction stories yesterday, and nonfiction stories are true stories. They have true facts in them. They usually teach the reader something, and you read them in any order. They don't have to be from the beginning to the back. However, you normally do go through a book like that from the front to the back. They have photographs in them, which are actually like pictures that you would take. And they had something very important. They had text features. We talked about the table of contents, and we'll talk about the headings and the index, and eventually we'll get to the glossary. But all these things in orange are what we call text features. I'm going to move this for now, and we're going to revisit our family stories. Remember, we haven't gotten to these two girls yet. Let me open it up. We left off yesterday when we were reading about Cammie. Remember, she was the girl that needed glasses and they helped her to see. So now we're going to go on. We're going to read about another girl, Anna. And oh, I think Anna is the girl from the front cover. Let me get my pointer. Anna, age 6. This is what we call the heading, so we know what the topic is in this section of the book. I have a twin sister, Julia. When we started school, our mom thought it would be best for us to be in different classes. That way we could each make our own friends. It was hard to be apart. We missed each other so much. We hugged goodbye every morning at school. Oh, so this is Anna and her sister. Now I see why they look so much alike. When I look down here, it says my class photo, and you can find Anna's right there. But this is a picture of her hugging her sister, like the story told us. When I turn the page, I'm going to look at the top, and another heading is Sammy, age 11. So this must be Sammy, and we're going to learn about him. When I was 2, my parents decided to adopt a baby. I stayed with Grandpa and Grandma while Mom and Dad went to meet my new baby sister. Grandma says I wasn't happy because I didn't want to share my parents. Well, I don't mind now. I like being a big brother. So here's Sammy with, he says, my new baby sister, and this is a little photograph of his parents bringing her home. And then over here, this is a picture of Sammy, and now his sister's grown up quite a bit. Both of them have. And he says, my little sister and me. And notice he's showing that they're happy together. He likes having her as his sister. I'm going to stop and put a little mark here so we know that we can continue there tomorrow. But I want to go back. Since this is a nonfiction story, I want to point out some very important parts in this book. I have a little sticky note that says we need to find the table of contents. And the table of contents is the part that helps us find topics in the text quickly. So when I open this up, I know this is the title page, So the table of contents isn't on the title page, but right here it says table of contents. I found the page that has the table of contents. Remember, we just read about Sammy. Sammy's age 11, and if I wanted to go right to his page, I would find page 10. So let me see if I can do that. I think this might help. Page 10 is right here. And yes, it is all about Sammy. Okay, so now that we found the table of contents, I am going to look for a heading. A heading tells the main idea of the section in the textbook. And this page has family stories. Usually the heading is printed rather large, and so I'm going to put that here because these are all family stories in here. And now each page after this also has a heading. When we read about Hector, that was a heading. Then when we read about Cammie, that was a heading. Can you figure out the heading on this page? I hope you're pointing to Anna because that's the heading of the page. Let's go to the next one. Did you find the heading? Yes. Awesome. So far, we found lots of headings, but they were usually at the top of the page. I've got one more thing that I want us to look for. Photographs. Photographs help us visualize real objects. All the pictures. I'm going to put this right here. That's a photograph. That's a photograph. If we back up, that's the picture or photograph. That's what's giving us the visual image in our brain. We get to see what the kids look like. And this page, we can see that, yes, she needs glasses. She's going to have glasses just like I do to help her to read. Okay, so now I have another activity that we're going to do together. And I'm going to move our book and bring up our fiction and nonfiction chart. I have some stories. The first story is called What Are Caves? Look at the front cover, read the title, What Are Caves? I want you to think, is this a fiction story, something that's made up? Or is it a nonfiction story, something that has true facts and teaches the reader? Let's open it up. Are there any other clues inside? Whoa, table of contents. So as I read, I didn't have to read the whole thing. I just kind of looked at pages. Point to where you think it belongs. Fiction or nonfiction? Nonfiction, yes. It's a true book. It's about caves, what they're like in real life. And it had that table of contents. Remember the text feature that has a table of contents? There we go. Those were the clues. Here's another book. Fly high, Fly Guy. Just look at Fly Guy. Think, is this real or is this story make-believe? If you thought it was fiction, you're right. This character is created by an artist. It's really, there are real flies, but this doesn't look like a real fly that you would see out in nature. This is a character, and it is a make-believe story. These stories are written to entertain us, and Fly Guy is a pretty funny guy. I like his stories. Try this one. Fox and Socks by Dr. Seuss. I may not even have to open it up. I bet you know already. Fiction or nonfiction? Fiction again, yes. Dr. Seuss makes up a lot of characters that you wouldn't find in real life, and they do silly, weird things. This is definitely an entertaining book. It's fiction. Here's my next story. Polar bears. They're an animal. When I open it up, I see real photographs and a table of contents. I bet you know. Is it fiction or nonfiction? Nonfiction. Right over there, we're going to learn about real facts about polar bears when we read that book. This is my last one. This is called Dinosaur Train. See that dinosaur right on top of the train? That might give you a clue. I want to know if it's fiction or nonfiction, but let's take a look inside a little bit. Just looking at the illustrations, it tells me a dinosaur in real life wouldn't be on a train. Dinosaurs aren't alive today, and they weren't alive at the time the trains were. So it is fiction. This one also is a make-believe or made-up story. Thank you for going over our reading lesson with me. When we're done, there will be an assignment for you. Have a great day. Bye.